Welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. Welcome, fellow dregs of society. And welcome, all you rock dwellers. You're always welcome here at the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network. And joining me as my co-host is the patriot from the battle-born state, the Silver State of Nevada, and that's my very good and dear friend, Sharron Angle. Sharron, welcome back to Conservative Commandos.
Thank you so much, Rick. It's always a pleasure to be here. And, you make me read the news. Even though sometimes I think, why do I take that local paper? It's such a rag. It's such a liberal rags. But I do because I want to be current on what's current. And I thought today you might like to look in our funny paper. This is the Reno Gazette-Journal. And on the front page, we talked about this in one of our segments about the Facebook spoof on Let's Raid Area 51 that got 1.7 million RSVPs. And I was telling you that if they went to the Alien in Rachel, it would just probably put that whole community into a tailspin. But it turns out they're not even close to where the alien is. They are actually on the other side at a little rest stop place called Area 51 Alien Center. And I thought you'd like to hear some of the comments. Now, this is front page news. This is front page news. So
first, Sharron, let me say this. I'm sure out of that 1.7 million, a lot of them are going to get confused and not go to the Area 51, but will end up at the Alien Inn. Guarantee it.
If 1 million people fled into Nevada looking to storm Area 51, I'm sure they're going to be lost everywhere, probably mostly in Las Vegas. So it's going to be a boon to Nevada if the Facebookers all show up. But this fellow, they interviewed him. He's the one that has the center, and he says that these people have been calling him, RSVPing. And he says if it's not an interested raider on the call, this is a guy that's going to raid Area 51. It's a board school kid or a reporter calling for a cubicle across the country or a vendor asking for a spot to pitch a tent for merchandise. Everyone, it seems, is trying to turn a profit on the raid on Area 51. Next door, they interviewed the lady next door. She says, next door, the Area 51 Alien Center is the Alien Cat House, a sci-fi themed brothel once owned by the late Nevada pimp Dennis Hoff. Now, we'll remember Dennis Hoff because when we were running through that 2018 cycle, Dennis Hoff was running for our Nevada State Legislature. He died 2 weeks before the election, but after the ballots were printed and he won the election. And then they had to, posthumously, he won the election. So because he was dead, they had to then appoint someone to take his place.
Did he get a pension? Did he get a state pension?
No, you have to serve 10 years in our legislature before you qualify. So at least we didn't have that bill to the taxpayer. But anyway, this Alien Cat House, the callers were calling her as well and asking if she would describe the brothel services. And she said that state law prohibits her from doing so. And then she said, because I'm a God-fearing woman, I listen to God's laws, but I also listen to the law of the land. So there you have it from all the Area 51 folks.
Well, Sharron, excuse me for being a little bit confused because I've never been to a house of ill repute. I've never been to a cat house. What kind of services do you think it would be at a house of prostitution? Maybe what they're looking for is to have sex with an alien? I
Who
mean,
knows? Who knows what they're asking her? But anyway, it was. I thought you were going another direction
no.
because I think that most of our listeners probably realize by now that it's a legitimate business here in Nevada where
It is
we
legitimate,
have.
but for people to call up and wanting to know what kind of services were provided at a whorehouse, okay. I mean, what kind of services do you expect to be
Maybe they.
serviced by an alien? What's the
Well,
question? You know,
yeah, I'm thinking maybe they were just thinking about the phone call itself was very titillating, as our Dr. Wright says. So, but on to the next thing. You always welcome the
onward.
Rockwellers. Well,
Let's move on from that.
we have a big rock here in Nevada called Yucca Mountain, and
Uh-huh.
Yucca Mountain has been being studied since 1982 as the remote and secure repository for radioactive materials. So that would be especially the radioactive material that comes from our nuclear power plants, which now they're storing in the ocean, as you know. And of course, we know how that sometimes turns out, just looking at what happened in Japan. So, whether it's safer in a mountain, in a rock, or safer in the ocean, I would think would be a kind of a question that everybody knows the answer to, I would think. But we had some seismic activity in the California desert over by Ridgecrest this last week or two, and it was 6.4 to 7.1 magnitude. So nothing to sneeze at. We were wondering if this was the big one on the San Andreas Fault that gave all of us here in Nevada beachfront property, but darn, not the case. Anyway, it was 108 miles from Yucca Mountain. So our governor says now, because of these quakes, they have to reassess. Now, they've been studying this thing since 1982, but now they have to reassess it. Now, the interesting thing is that Nevada has only been fighting it for 11 years. So they've been studying it, said it needs to come to Nevada. That nothing happens until 11 years ago. Guess who is in the White House 11 years ago?
That would be
Not
Barack Obama, wouldn't it?
That would be that guy with his sidekick, Harry Reid. Harry Reid from Nevada. And they're saying that they don't want our state to be a dump. And so they said that they should take the waste to a state that wants it. Well, there are states that do want it. They do recognize it as a cottage industry. As we in Nevada, many of us who have studied this along with the studies since 1982 know that there is this idea that we could have university folks here studying it. We could even recycle the. There are only 20% rods that come to us, so there's 80% of this material that could be recycled. It's being recycled now in France, in fact, and we could have power plants right there, secure on the test site, probably furnishing most of the southwestern grid. Mm-hmm. So, and it's clean energy. Guess what? It is exactly what the Democrats want, which is clean energy. But because it's not Harry Reid's brand of clean energy, and he's not getting the kickback like he does from the solar, he doesn't want any part of the nuclear stuff. So here he's got our governor fighting for us. So we have some incredible lawmakers here in Nevada. We've got, like I said, we got posthumously elected folks. We've got we've got governors that are fighting all the rock dwellers, and we got more. But I know you want to take a break, so I'll let you do that before we continue on with the funny.
If they've been studying this since 1982, it's 37 years. I mean, they've been, they'll get it right. They'll get it right. And Gee, in my opinion, there's no safer place for the stuff than in the ground. After all, it came from the ground, so put it back in the ground. And
Well,
if a mountain collapses on it in an earthquake, hey, doesn't that suit the purpose too? I mean, it's multi-purpose,
well,
multi-purpose.
and understand that it's militarily protected because the only way into Yucca Mountain is through that test site, which has Area 51 on it, which is all
Oh,
a military installation where you can't go there without being checked out. It's better security than even at the airport. So it is a very secure facility, is my point, except maybe from the blues and the grays, which we discussed then. But I I don't know.
thank you for educating me what they are. But you are listening and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. Today's show, guess what? Like all our shows, is being brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. Sharron and I will be right back. We've got great guests joining us today. We're going to have a lot of fun. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Have you been leasing a property for your business or renting storage space? Are you tired of paying rent year after year? Call the experts at General Steel to own a building at up to 30% off now.
I'd been renting a building and paying someone else's mortgage, but General Steel showed me how I could own a space tailored to the needs of my business and for less than renting.
Call General Steel now at the number on your screen for our current building specials and to price your metal building system today.
My building's the dream I've had since finishing my house 14 years ago. I've been using it for a garage, workshop, and storage area for my tools and equipment, and I can't believe how great it turned out.
The economy is improving and the price of steel is expected to rise. Stop waiting. It could cost you thousands. Call General Steel now to see how you can own for less than you thought. Stop waiting to start your business or expand your operation. Call General Steel now.
Call 877-484-7002.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And thank you for staying with us. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. For rebroadcasts of our show, check out our website, CCRShow.com. That's CCRShow.com. You'll find rebroadcasts of our radio show there, our TV show there, a lot of terrific articles, a lot of great information. Sharron, once again, we've got 3 or 4 great guests joining us today. Please tell us who they are.
Well, you're right. We do. We have some interesting guests that we've never had on the show before.
Yes.
We have we have a couple on first. We have PJ Mongelli and his wife, Nicole Marie. And PJ and Nicole Marie decided to have a mega wedding, a Make America Great Again wedding. And they invited the Mega Man. They invited the president. So we're going to have them on to talk about the presidential visit.
Yes, and not only did they invite him, he showed up. And this is such a great story. And I've talked to PJ and Nicole Marie on the telephone and on Skype. They're a lovely couple. And I was so excited to find out that they would be able to join us here on Conservative Commandos. The video of the president showing up at their wedding has absolutely gone viral. And by the way, you can see it on our website, CCRShow.com. That's CCRShow.com. You can check out the wedding. But better yet, we're going to have PJ and Nicole Marie join us here today.
Well, and if you stay tuned, you'll get to watch the video as well here on our Conservative Commandos radio show that is broadcast on the AUN TV network.
Yep.
So we have our second guest, it's a longtime friend of the show, Mark Meckler, who's president of Citizens for Self-Governance. Mark is one of the nation's most effective grassroots activists. After he co-founded and was the national coordinator for the Tea Party Patriots, he founded Citizens for Self-Governance to revolutionize American government. This grassroots initiative expands and directs the ever-growing bipartisan self-governance movement, and Mark appears regularly on a wide variety of television outlets as well as radio. He is also the co-author of Tea Party Patriots, The Second American Revolution, and writes regularly for Breitbart, American Spectator, and selfgovern.com. Mark is going to be talking to us about an article he wrote. Trump's plan to deter asylum seekers is a winning one. Well, you and I have thought that for a long time, Rick Trader, and the reason we thought that is because it's the number one issue in America these days and the number one political issue for people who are going to be voting. Our third and final guest is James S. Davidson, who was an FBI special agent for 23 years. He investigated major crimes in Texas and California and served in Ukraine, Israel, and Washington, D.C. He's now president of Protect the FBI, a nonpartisan organization whose mission is to safeguard the FBI from partisan politics of both political parties. Mm-hmm. And he wrote an article, What the Fake Cinnabung Volcano Simulation Can Teach Us About How to Watch Robert Mueller Testify. So we are watching Robert Mueller one more time. This is such a non-story for me, Rick. I can't believe that we're wasting so much time and money on this after absolutely the Attorney General says there is no there. But the Democrats just cannot stand it. They keep beating this dead horse.
Sharon, and I say it again and again and again, and I think that we are the only ones that say it here in Conservative Commandos, is if there was collusion, if there was Russian collusion that interfered with our 2016 election, who the hell was president in 2016? Who was the president? Who was asleep at the switch? Who let this Russian involvement take place? Who let the Russians interfere in our election? Donald Trump was not the president. Donald Trump was not in office. Who was?
Barack Obama, and Barack Obama's Secretary of State had her finger in all of this as well. I think if we're going to investigate anybody, there's a few Democrats that have some splaining to do.
I agree with that. But all you hear about is Trump, Russia, meddling, conspiracy. No, okay. The real conspiracy, like I said, in my opinion, is with the Democrats. It's with Hillary Clinton selling 20% of our uranium reserves. We were talking about uranium earlier. 20% of our uranium reserves to the Russians. That's the investigation.
Is that not Russian collusion?
That's Russian.
I
then
don't know.
Bill Clinton gets a $500,000 contract for one speech in Moscow. One speech in Moscow. That's Russian collusion, if you ask me. Nothing that Donald Trump had anything to do with.
Well, the Democrats are not about issues, though, are they, Rick? I mean, this is about getting Trump. This is also about people being different, right? They're ready to seize on anybody that's got some difference, whether they are capable of holding down the office that they've been elected to. That's really a minor point. The idea is that they've got so much diversity and they're going to continue to be diverse. And I just want to point out one of these diversity problems here in Nevada. During our legislative session, we had 2 Democrats that had to resign their office right during the session. And it was because they were lawbreakers. One of these is a fellow named Kelvin Atkinson. He happens to be a black gay man. And he spent his campaign funds this way. I'll just tell you how he spent them. He spent $75,000 in opening a nightclub called the Urban Lounge. He spent $20,000 on a lease for a Jaguar SUV. He spent $8,600 to pay a personal loan off, and he spent $100,000 to pay off his credit card charges. Now, he's been fined $250,000. He had his day in court, $250,000 fine, and a 2-year prison term. Now, they're saying he should not have to. Here's why he shouldn't deserve prison. I thought this was good, and maybe you can use it one of these days.
Oh, thanks a lot. I hope I never need it.
Well, just keep it tucked away there.
All right.
The reason he doesn't deserve prison time is because he accepted responsibility for his crimes. Well, yeah, once they accused him, he said, okay, yeah, I did it.
Once he's accused and convicted, I mean, I did it. Right.
Yeah. So remember to accept responsibility. He agreed to pay the fine. But there's more to that in just a minute.
Yeah.
He lost the lease on his nightclub, that one that he paid for with these campaign funds. And now he bears the stigma of having a felony conviction. Mm-hmm. But the kicker is that they said that because he had so many 800 political contributors, that they just couldn't order restitution and repayment. So there's still money left in that campaign fund. And so he wants to know. Now, they've frozen that campaign fund until the judge decides whether he can pay his $250,000 fine out of those campaign funds.
Well, that's committing the same crime he was convicted of. Oh, my gosh. Sharon, I would like to know, when people donate to a campaign like that, and the money is fraudulently spent on private things like a lease on a nightclub, like on a Jaguar, an automobile, like to pay off his credit card debt, having nothing to do with the campaign. If people who donated that money possibly couldn't do a class action suit suing the guy to get their money back for fraud.
Well, we have the Federal Election Commission, and you have to report quarterly. Whether you're running or not, if you keep an open campaign, you have to report. And there's another little law that says that if you can collect the money for a general election as well as the primary. But if you lose your primary, you have to pay the donor back that general election money. So you have to keep track of who gave you the money in the first place. So this idea that these 800 donors could not get their money back is ludicrous, because they know exactly how much each one of those 800 donors gave. And if there's 250,000, you divide that up by percentage according to how much they gave. If they gave the max, they get a bigger percentage than someone who just gave $25. But they can give the money back to these donors. So that's a red herring if you ever saw one. And this whole idea that he wants to use that to pay off his fines and that he doesn't deserve prison time just is what grates the American people about the political class. They're elitist. They don't live under the same laws as we do.
All right. With that, we do need to take a break. Just imagine this. The greatest day of your life. You're marrying the love of your life. Guess who shows up at your wedding but the President of the United States? This actually happened to a young couple that we're going to have one right after this break. But you are listening and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. Don't go away. We'll be right back right after this break.
AM/FM 24/7 Roku channel broadcasts all of our shows on demand. To ensure reliability, we store and stream our content on the same servers as Netflix and Amazon. Our Roku channel is free to use, and anyone owning one of the more than 10 million Roku devices can watch our channel at no cost whatsoever. If you have a television show or are thinking about producing a show, you can be a part of AM/FM 24/7's Roku channel. Watch our great shows on your Roku device. It's free and more reliable than cable TV. Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to buyyourtimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. BuyYourTimeshare.com. That's BuyYourTimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
And thank you for staying with us. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle. Yes, that's Sharron Angle. And yours truly, Rick Trader. Also, as I mentioned before, for rebroadcast of our show, please check out our website, CCRShow.com. That's CCRShow.com. You can like us, friend us, and follow us. Also, you can find rebroadcast of our radio show there, our TV show there, a lot of terrific articles, and a lot of great information. Well, Sharron, imagine, as I mentioned, the greatest day of your life where you're marrying the love of your life. You invite the President of the United States to your wedding. Guess what? He shows up. Well, that actually happened to our next couple. Sharron Angle, please make the introduction.
Well, I think after that, all I have to say is that we have Mr. and Mrs. PJ Mongelli, PJ and Nicole Marie Mongelli here on Conservative Commandos radio show. And we're going to talk about how Donald Trump, our president, came to be at their Make America Great Again wedding. Welcome to Conservative Commandos radio show, PJ and Nicole Marie.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, you know, in the break, when we first got you on the phone, PJ, you said you were not a lucky man, but a blessed man. So here you have the president showing up at your wedding. Tell me now, did he get there through prayer or did he just an invitation? How does that work out? Tell our audience, how do you get the president to come when you put him on your guest list?
Oh, that was definitely a lot of prayer
and invitation
and multiple invitations.
Yeah.
So it was just such a great thing that happened to us. It's still surreal.
Still does not feel real.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
Well, so describe the effort in the moment to us.
Oh, the effort to get him there?
Yes.
Oh, I'll let my wife answer that one.
Hey, that's a smart man.
Yes. Well, we chose to have our wedding at Trump National in Bedminster, New Jersey, because it is one of his golf clubs that he does visit often. And a couple of years ago, we took a ride there just to kind of check it out and see, if we could have our wedding there. And we became really friendly with the event coordinator there, Amanda. She took a liking to us, we took a liking to her, and we were in touch for a while. And then eventually we got engaged there, and we were the first couple to get engaged there. And then a year and a half later, we got married there. And during that wedding planning time, we were sending her to get to the president, save the dates. We sent her invitations. I sent the president a photo album of the first time that we met him in Staten Island. He actually came here while he was campaigning, and we were able to get pictures together. So, that's kind of the story in a nutshell.
Wow. In a nutshell. And then, did you really expect him to come?
No.
We were just hoping.
Expecting?
No. We were trying not to get our hopes up because we had to keep reminding ourselves, well, he is the president. He is busy. He might not have time to, but fortunately, he did have events there the night before, so he was there for the weekend. He had events the following day, and we were just very fortunate that the event coordinator was communicating with him, and she spoke very highly about us and our guests, and I guess that's what inspired him to say, "I got to make an appearance in this wedding."
So when did he appear? Did he come to the wedding, or when did he appear?
Oh, it was during the cocktail hour.
First, he came to he came to my bridal suite during the cocktail hour, which was amazing. That to me was incredible. We're all in a room with the door is shut. We have no idea. We're just loud in there having a little something to eat before the wedding starts. We have no idea what's going on outside. All of a sudden, the door opens, and there he is.
Wow.
There he is.
Yeah.
The leader of the free world. There he is.
Oh my! We were just in total awe. We walked in like he was another family member. It was so nice.
And what did he say to you?
He said, "Heard there's a beautiful bride in the room." And I just went over to him and I said, "Can I please just give you a hug?" All I wanted was just give him a big hug. That's all I really wanted to do. That's the first thing I said to him. And he said, "Sure, you could hug me." And I gave him a big hug. And I was really fortunate for that.
So did you get that on film for us?
Yes, we have it on film. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay. And then that would have been enough, right? That would have been enough. Yeah. But there's more. Tell us.
There's plenty more.
So why don't you continue with what you told him, what you asked of him during that moment?
He's, one of our aunts said, "Oh, here's the groom," and he's like, "Oh, where's the groom?" And he goes, "Oh, wow, look at those shoulders." He goes, "He's a handsome guy." It's just such a, it's the president giving you such a compliment, And then I asked him, I said, I had to seize this moment I said, "President Trump," I says, "please, if you could do me a favor, come back." I said, "We have 230 guests that we have something planned special for you, because we were going to sing everybody, God Bless America to him. and really make
our
make
plan.
him feel special, because we love him. And he says, let me see what I can do. It wasn't, a certainty. It was, he's the president, so I wouldn't expect a yes, no. He's the leader of the free world.
We just knew we had to at least say something, and if he could, he could, and if not.
And then after dinner, Nicole and I were on the dance floor, and we just see a lot of action happening. And then
oh my gosh,
President Trump again just comes, points us to come to him.
It was wild.
He embraces us, and we just, all our guests, we just started chanting, USA.
Just naturally just started chanting USA.
Unbelievable.
It was really a beautiful, special moment. It really was.
Wow.
How long did he stay?
He was there. I can't give you a time. Because it's still lasting forever. So I could say right now that he's still by my side. He's in the middle. He's in the middle of me and Nicole right now. So
it was a couple of minutes. Unfortunately, I don't think he's allowed to stay long. But that was good enough for us.
That's a great story. Now, I'm looking at you, and I'm thinking not 30 yet, and I'm wondering how people your age get to be such avid President Trump fans. I thought it was just us old guys that thought he was a
don't pull
You're not old.
Don't pull yourselves old. You guys are very seasoned. You know what I'm saying?
Age is a number. Life is an attitude.
That's it. Amen to that.
Well, I'm actually 30 years old. So you were close. He's actually 31.
I'm 31.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with age. It just has so much to do with, realizing what's going on in the world. You understand? And from the way he speaks, the way his morals are, the things he believes in is what we believe in. We want people, we want my neighbor safe. I want my mom safe. I want us to be able to keep working. And all these things. He wants to protect us.
We want to be able to worship our God. We want to be able to say Merry Christmas. We want to, the traditional American values. And I think the media tries to portray, all these young kids, because they try to scare other people and thinking, there's no hope for this country. There's no hope. Yeah. I think it's them, because we know a lot of mostly everyone that we know our age support President Trump. At least the ones we know. And we know a lot. We have a lot of friends and family, and they all support the president.
Well, I have to tell you that's encouraging, since we know you come from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez country. Tell us about that. Now, we watch her. We think she's fairly entertaining, but in some ways she's kind of scary to us. Is she scary to you? Do you see the contrast between her and the president, and how do you see that contrast?
The old saying is you can't argue with stupid. So, I don't even want to shed any more light on that, because I don't even want to entertain her and what she's not doing. People tend to focus on what she is doing. Focus on what she's not doing. So I don't even want to get into that.
Honestly, we try not even to.
Well, I can see the disgust on your faces. That also is encouraging, that you are embracing the president, that you are a millennial, which we've been told by the media, millennials don't embrace the president, don't embrace his values, that you are those folks that they're talking about, and it's absolutely not true. Tell us what else about your generation, what's going on in your lives right now, is not true, that you see in the media and you go, where did they come up with that?
It's a good question.
Well, the first thing I would say is just them trying to divide every race that's out there. You understand? I'm a proud Trump supporter. I have many different minority friends, and I don't even like to say that, because I don't look at this color. I go of that person, and I respect that person, and that's what it comes down to at the beginning and the end of the day. You're entitled to your opinion, just like I am. If you can't agree with it, well, then you know what? I still love you, brother. Let's move on. Let's go have dinner. And that's where it ends.
A real American. And with that, we're going to take a break. We're talking with PJ and Nicole Marie Mongelli, who had the President of the United States at their wedding. And they had a Make America Great Again wedding. These are millennials that are great Americans themselves. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, American Political Radio, Leading Edge Radio Network, and AM/FM 24/7. And now you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California, specifically Pelosi country. I'm Sharron Angle. My co-host is Rick Trader, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Have you been leasing a property for your business or renting storage space? Are you tired of paying rent year after year? Call the experts at General Steel to own a building at up to 30% off now.
I'd been renting a building and paying someone else's mortgage, but General Steel showed me how I could own a space tailored to the needs of my business and for less than renting.
Call General Steel now at the number on your screen for our current building specials and to price your metal building system today.
My building's the dream I've had since finishing my house 14 years ago. I've been using it for a garage, workshop, and storage area for my tools and equipment, and I can't believe how great it turned out.
The economy is improving and the price of steel is expected to rise. Stop waiting. It could cost you thousands. Call General Steel now to see how you can own for less than you thought. Stop waiting to start your business or expand your operation. Call General Steel now.
Call 877-484-7002.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And thank you for staying with us. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader. My co-host today is Sharron Angle. I want to give a shout out to the folks who are listening to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and seen on the AUN television network in Northern California, places like Sacramento, San Jose, San Francisco. Just imagine the happiest day of your life. You're getting married to the love of your life. President Trump shows up at your wedding. And that's exactly what happened to PJ and Nicole Marie Mongelli. President Trump came to their wedding. What a treat. Guys, thank you for holding through that break. We really appreciate your time. What a story. What a terrific story this is. And this is all over the internet. We here at Conservative Commandos, I put this up on our website. When we do this, we have to put a little link to our YouTube site, and we already have over like 14,000 views. 14,000 views. And this is only one link. We know there are many links to your video out there, but this is really terrific. And as I have up on our web page, and maybe you guys can take off for this, I call President Trump a man of the real people.
100%.
By saying that, what does that make you think about President Donald Trump?
What it makes it think?
What's that make you think? A man of the real people.
The real people that this country depends on, the working class, the middle class, the people that have to work for everything that they get.
It's simple. It's what you said. It's everyday people. It's challenges that we keep fighting. You look at with the health care under Obamacare. I was affected by that. I was getting penalized every month for not accepting his insurance. So he's trying to better the whole entire thing. He's trying to fight for different things, and they're just giving him a difficult time. So he's for the people, and everybody needs to really smarten up and just give this man a break. Just give him a break.
We needed a non-career politician.
Boy, I agree with that, and I think you're seeing the difference on how President Trump operates and how past presidents have operated. Your wedding reception, 230 people. Did your guest have any idea?
Zero.
No.
Wow.
We didn't even have any idea. So
and their
we had no
reaction. I'm sure you were caught up in the moment, but afterwards, what was the reaction to you about President Trump showing up at your wedding?
After the second time,
they were thrilled.
Yeah,
they were ecstatic.
Because all we did was we just, to all our friends, we were like, I just pray he comes, I hope. And they were like, guys, he's the president. Get it out of your head. So then after the second time, my friend Manny's in back of me, so he pulls me. I start hugging him. I says, I can't believe it happened.
Yeah.
And that was just the emotion the entire night. After that, it was just, hey, he's here,
And we were such huge. Yeah.
Some people might wonder if that actually overshadowed your day.
No, that was the icing on the cake. Baby.
That just made it better.
You know what I mean?
Just made it better. Regardless if you're a Trump supporter or not, it's the president, and he's showing up at your wedding. It's amazing.
Yeah. Logistically, how did the Secret Service handle this event, in your opinion?
So everyone, they were great. Everyone had to be screened before coming in, obviously. But they ran it very smoothly. They've done this before at that golf club, so they were well prepared. They were great. They were very nice, and they handled it very well.
And they protect that man very well, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely. Nicole, I mentioned this to you yesterday when we originally arranged this interview. The one thing that I wish you would have done is to ask him for a dance.
I know. Believe me.
Imagine that.
Believe me. That's something I would have loved to have done, but I don't think it was possible. I should have, though. But the hug was just enough. It was good enough.
Now, from what I understand, you guys were actually supposed to be on your honeymoon right now, and you made a decision to put that off. Guys, will you talk a little bit about that decision and why?
We were supposed to leave yesterday morning. Then the day after the wedding on Sunday, we were at brunch, and then we started seeing emails, Facebook, this,
phone
that.
calls.
I need you to come on Fox and Friends. I need you to do Outnumbered. And I said, we discussed it, and we said,
take advantage.
There's so much negative around our president, and if they want to, we want to put this positivity out there. So, have we heard a lot of negative feedback? Yeah, but I don't entertain it. My wife doesn't entertain it. We want to, really make sure that they know what kind of man he is.
Yes.
And the character he has is just, he's aces in our book, man. He really is.
Well, you guys are real patriots. You're true patriots. And, Sharron Angle, every young couple in planning their wedding, planned their honeymoon and put a lot of thought, a lot of time, and a lot of money. And for Nicole, Marie, and PJ to put off their honeymoon to help perpetuate this great story about President Trump. What a couple of great Americans, Sharron Angle.
I think so. This is patriotism. This is really what does make America great again, is the people. It has always been about the people of America, great Americans doing patriotic things, loving their country above their own lives. And this is just another example of PJ and Nicole Marie loving their own country, loving their president, loving the future of this country more than their own lives. They set aside themselves so that they can make a difference for a president that they believe has done a great job for America. And I can't think of a more patriotic thing.
Well, Sharron, we've been doing Conservative Commandos for like 10 years. And not only is this one of my favorite stories we've ever done here, it kind of shows why we do Conservative Commandos, doesn't it, Sharron? For the future generations of our country. And wow, you guys give me such great hope. And again, this is such a terrific story. It's a great story. And I really do think it humanizes the president. And, PJ and Nicole Marie, I just want to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I want to wish you many happy, many smart, intelligent, conservative children.
Amen to that, brother.
And PJ, as you said with your friends who maybe don't agree with you, well, let's get over it and have dinner. Please come down to the Philly area. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to take you out to dinner and enjoy your company.
So nice. Thank you.
Well, the type of guy I am, I'm going to hold you to it, Rick.
Well, I hope you're like me. I always say never invite Rick Trader someplace you don't want him to show up. Because, but again, guys,
go for us.
PJ and Nicole Marie Mongelli, we want to thank you so much for coming on the Conservative Commandos radio show and sharing your wonderful story with not just us, but all of America.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us. We really do appreciate it.
And this is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network. On the other side, we're going to have Mark Meckler. He's the president of Citizens for Self-Governance. We're going to be talking about Trump's plan to deter asylum seekers. And it is a winning one. Don't go away. We will be right back with our next guest.
AM/FM 24/7 Roku channel broadcasts all of our shows on demand. To ensure reliability, we store and stream our content on the same servers as Netflix and Amazon. Our Roku channel is free to use, and anyone owning one of the more than 10 million Roku devices can watch our channel at no cost whatsoever. If you have a television show or are thinking about producing a show, you can be a part of AM/FM 24/7's Roku channel. Watch our great shows on your Roku device. It's free and more reliable than cable TV. Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to BuyYourTimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. BuyYourTimeshare.com. That's BuyYourTimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Have you been leasing a property for your business or renting storage space? Are you tired of paying rent year after year? Call the experts at General Steel to own a building at up to 30% off now.
I'd been renting a building and paying someone else's mortgage, but General Steel showed me how I could own a space tailored to the needs of my business and for less than renting.
Call General Steel now at the number on your screen for our current building specials and to price your metal building system today.
My building's the dream I've had since finishing my house 14 years ago. I've been using it for a garage, workshop, and storage area for my tools and equipment, and I can't believe how great it turned out.
The economy is improving and the price of steel is expected to rise. Stop waiting. It could cost you thousands. Call General Steel now to see how you can own for less than you thought. Stop waiting to start your business or expand your operation. Call General Steel now.
Call 877-484-7002.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And once again, thank you for staying with us. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. And also, once again, for rebroadcasts of our show, best place to go is our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And with that, Sharron, our next guest is with us. As you usually do, please make him, or always do, I should say, please make him feel welcome.
Well, it is a great pleasure to have our longtime friend, Mark Meckler, who's the president of Citizens for Self-Governance, with us. Mark is one of the nation's most effective grassroots activists. After he co-founded and was the national coordinator of Tea Party Patriots, he founded Citizens for Self-Governance to revolutionize American government. This grassroots initiative expands and directs the ever-growing bipartisan self-governance movement. Mark appears regularly on a wide variety of television and radio outlets, and he is also the co-author of Tea Party Patriots, The Second American Revolution. He writes regularly for others as well, Breitbart, American Spectator, and self-govern.com. He's an attorney who specializes in internet privacy law. Mark, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
It's always great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Well, you've been writing, and we picked it up. You wrote an article, Trump's plan to deter asylum seekers is a winning one. Now, is this still the number one issue in America, or are the Mueller reports? Is that the number one issue? I mean, really, all I hear is Mueller, 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 but I'm really concerned about the border. So am I a real person or just in some kind of echo chamber out here?
No, I think you're actually living in the real world. If you look at what goes on with the coastal elites, and we're going to see a little bit of bounce on the Mueller report and Mueller today, although I have to say, having watched some of it, Mueller did not deliver what the Democrats were looking for. So I think this will fade quickly from the news cycle. The latest polling shows us that 27% of Americans consider immigration and the border to be their top issue. By the way, that's higher than anything else right now. And it's as high as any single issue has been in a very long time. So the American people get it. They're just like you and me, and they are very concerned about what's going on our southern border.
So President Trump seems to be having issues trying to get anything done on that border, getting it closed. What's your recommendation? First of all, is he going in the right direction? Secondly, what can he do about it?
Well, I want to give what I would consider a fair analysis, because I have to say, in the first 2 years of his tenure, I would give President a D- on his attempts to secure the border, because frankly, he didn't do anything. And I think he got sandbagged by Republicans and Democrats in Congress, by the deep state. He really didn't try. Like, we had Republicans in control of both houses of Congress. They could have funded any amount they wanted on that border wall, and they didn't do anything. And I think that's terrible. I think he also had a second opportunity at it. He was in mid-negotiation with the Democrats. They offered a whole bunch of money. That deal was on the table, and he didn't take it. And I think that was in the advice of Steve Miller. I think he got bad advice. It was the art of how not to make a deal. So in the beginning of his tenure, I have to say, and I think this is really important that we're honest about this. Like, I'm a Trump supporter. I like a lot of what he's done, but I also like to call balls and strikes. And I think he was terrible on the border in the first couple of years. And so now he seems to be really trying. He's done a lot of stuff. He's tried to redirect funds, executive orders and things like this. I'm glad that he keeps trying. I think this latest shot at it might be one of his best. And this is an attempt to curtail the abuse of the asylum system. That's one of the biggest problems we have at the border right now, other than the physical barrier.
Well, I think you're right. And we've been seeing those abuses with this asylum situation, especially children, abusing children. Can you talk a little bit about how successful you think he's going to be with that, and just what that program entails? You said he's striking back at it, so give us a little deeper description.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's trying. And so here's what we've got. We've got a situation where asylum, as defined by international law and according to our immigration law, is intended for people who are under immediate threat of persecution or imminent bodily harm, right? So these are people that are personally targeted, and they're targeted for things that are personal to them. It's not supposed to be they live in a dangerous area. It's supposed to be race, gender, religion, things that they are specifically targeted for. They have immediate threat of severe bodily harm or death, and that's supposed to give rise to the ability to apply for asylum. And as you can imagine, if somebody's under those circumstances and they leave their country and go to a third country, they're no longer under those circumstances. So the asylum laws were never intended to apply to people who transit through third countries where they're much safer than they are at home. This, in fact, would apply to everybody coming from South and Central America that transits through Mexico and then across our southern border and asks for asylum. So that's simply a clarification of existing regulations. The DOJ has said, if you transit through a third country first and fail to request asylum there, and if you're not denied asylum there, and you come to the U.S. and request asylum, your asylum will be immediately denied. So this has two effects. One is hopefully the immediate effect of people in South and Central America here, and I think the federal government should promote this. They should buy advertising down there saying, if you come through Mexico, your claims will be denied. And so that should stop a lot of it. And then the question becomes, Sharon, as always, what happens in the courts? And obviously the left who's going to shop this, right? They're going to go forum shopping. They're going to go to the Ninth Circuit or the Fourth Circuit. They're going to try and find a way to shut this down. Whether that happens or not, that's kind of anybody's guess right now.
Well, it's interesting to me because in your article, you bring up a couple of, we know they're Democrat leaning, we know they love the left, but they're starting to defect to Trump, to this idea that asylum is not what is being portrayed by the left.
Yeah, and I think what's going on is you see people on the left reading the polls, reacting to common sense Americans on both sides of the aisle. Like I said, Americans across the aisle say this is a serious problem and they want it solved. So you have Fareed Zakaria, who is an anchor at CNN, absolutely radical, I would say anti-American leftist. And he said that it pains him to say this, amazing thing for a journalist to say, it pains him to say it, but President Trump is getting this right? And so and he goes on to say that the asylum system is being gamed, that people who are applying for asylum are all using suspiciously similar terms, and that this is a serious problem. And he also blames the Democrats. He says the Democrats are vilifying Trump and providing no solutions for this problem. So that's one, that's Fareed Zakaria at CNN. That's a big deal. And the second one, to me, is even a bigger deal. It comes from Mother Jones magazine, which honestly I don't read. It's actually founded by the Communist Party. That's where Mother Jones comes from. If you've never heard of them, I don't recommend you read them. They hate America. But one of their writers wrote an entire piece which was premised on a question. When the question was, really, Democrats, are you really for completely open borders? Because this is not going to work, right? And so this is a radical leftist, say maybe even a communist writer saying this is crazy town, what the Democrats are doing. And so this is what I think is so interesting. The Democratic Party has lost the American people on this issue. They've lost CNN. They obviously had already lost people like you and me and Fox News and conservatives, but now they've lost CNN. They've lost Mother Jones magazines. They are way off the rails on immigration right now.
Well, you mentioned one of the ladies in the squad, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and it's interesting to me that Nancy Pelosi was trying to distance herself from that group, and Trump went right after them, and now they're all defending that group. So he's kind of made them the face of the Democrat Party and pushed, I guess, the Democrat defection even in more so. Are we going to see this more so now that Trump has said, no, this is who they really are, is just like these four women?
As so often is the case in this situation with Trump and his tweets about Ilhan Omar and Ocasio-Cortez, there's good and bad. Certainly the bad part about it is that I think he shouldn't have said what he said. When he said, go back to her country or go back to their countries, well, only Ilhan Omar was born somewhere else, right? And so completely inappropriate. And I think it's a fair, I'll call it what it is. That's a xenophobic statement. And people are going to be angry about that. And I would say rightly so. The president should not be saying things like that. Now, people who say it's racist, I disagree with that. I think you have to try to find racism in that. Obviously, they find racism in everything, but in that one, they shouldn't find racism. But the good side of it is it has driven the Democratic Party together, right? Like you said, Trump has now been able to make Ilhan Omar and Ocasio-Cortez and the rest of the squad into the face of the Democratic Party. And the more people hear about those four women, the more they are uncomfortable with Democrats. I think politically speaking, as far as electorally for 2020, this is very good for Republicans.
Well, we are speaking with Mark Meckler, who's the president of Citizens for Self-Governance, and we're talking about his article, Trump's Plan to Deter Asylum Seekers is a Winning One. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, American Political Radio, Leading Edge Radio Network, and AM/FM 24/7. And now you can watch us on the AUN TV network. I call it Pelosi country, right there in Northern California, Sacramento, San Francisco, San Jose, Redding, and on we go. We will be right back after this break. I'm Sharron Angle, and my co-host is Rick Trader.
AM/FM 24/7 Roku channel broadcasts all of our shows on demand. To ensure reliability, we store and stream our content on the same servers as Netflix and Amazon. Our Roku channel is free to use, and anyone owning one of the more than 10 million Roku devices can watch our channel at no cost whatsoever. If you have a television show or are thinking about producing a show, you can be a part of AM/FM 24/7's Roku channel. Watch our great shows on your Roku device. It's free and more reliable than cable TV. Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to buyyourtimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. Buyyourtimeshare.com. That's buyyourtimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
And once again, thank you for staying with us. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader. My co-host today is Sharron Angle, and our guest this segment is Mark Meckler. Mark is the president of Citizens for Self-Governance. Mark, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be with you guys today.
Mark, we're discussing an article you wrote. Trump's plan to deter asylum seekers is a winning one. Before we get back to your article, please tell us a little bit about Citizens for Self-Governance. What's your mission and what do you guys do?
Sure. The mission is to take the power away from Washington, D.C. and give it back to the people. The fundamental question is who decides. That's what we should be thinking about in America today. The founders answered it with we, the people, in beautiful calligraphy. But D.C. doesn't agree with us. And so our main project is the Convention of States project. We're calling for an Article 5 convention under the United States Constitution. Get the states together, discuss how to propose amendments to take the power away from the federal government and give it back to the people. Today, over 4 million people are involved in that project. We've passed that resolution in 15 out of the 34 necessary states. We'll be halfway by the end of the year. So if people want to get involved, they can go to conventionofstates.com.
All right, real good. Mark, you write in the article, and I always love having guests like you on with us because you are my teacher, I am your student, and I learned a lot from your article. You write here, in the beginning of a wall between U.S. and Mexico, began during World War I. This isn't anything new. World War I. President Richard Nixon tried to stop the influx of illegal drugs through Operation Intercept. President George W. Bush signed the Secure Fence Act of 2006 in order to build 850 miles of border fencing. Wow. This is not a new idea, is it, Mark?
Look, it's as old as humans themselves, right? If you want to keep people from flooding across your border, you look no further than the Great Wall of China, right? This is to keep the hordes of people out. This has been going on forever. It works. It works everywhere it's been tried. It works in Israel. Israel had huge problems with terrorists infiltrating, blowing themselves up on buses and in community centers. They put up a wall. That all just stopped. So walls work when you're having trouble with security at your border. This is not something new in America or anywhere else. It shouldn't be controversial. We should just get it done.
Well, Mark, and you write in your article, and I can take from this, it's not just a right-wing or a conservative or a Republican idea. And again, I'm reading from your article, Democrats weren't always so weak on immigration. Bill Clinton declared, quote, all Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large number of illegal aliens entering our country. He used the word illegal aliens for one thing, but even Bill Clinton got it right.
Not only did Bill Clinton get it right, but, I saw recently somebody going on to campuses and reading discussion points about illegal immigration to students there and then asking them if they thought that was said by a white supremacist. The students almost universally say yes. They were the statements of President Barack Obama. And so this has been universal. It's always been this way until the Democrats turned it into a political issue. They're doing it for nothing but political points, and they're losing points on it. I think they're going to be in big trouble on this issue.
Well, Mark, you also give us a geography lesson, and I love geography. It's one of the things that I don't think is told enough in school. The bad news for Central American immigrants who traveled through, quote, multiple countries before reaching our border. But the good news for American taxpayers is people who claim fear based on need for asylum will automatically be taken off the list if they cross through, get this, Mexico, Guatemala, or other countries before arriving in the United States. Duh!
Yeah, so this is the way it should have always been. I think the regulations could have been read this way at any time. What the DOJ is just doing is providing clarity for the appropriate enforcement agencies and the immigration courts. Here's the bottom line. We are a very empathetic nation. Yes. And we do like to take in real refugees who are really in trouble. We've done so in huge numbers over the decades. We will continue to do so in the future. We can't do so and bring in real asylum seekers really under threat if the asylum system is abused like this. So this is a chance for Americans to really show their heart, not just for people who are looking for better economic opportunity, but people who are really under immediate threat of persecution. We need to keep our door open for those kind of people, and by reforming the asylum system in this way, we'll be able to do that.
Mark, we hear a lot of calls for immigration law reform. I say we don't need immigration law reform. We need our immigration laws enforced. We have the laws on the books, but they're totally being ignored. Mark, let me ask you a question. Mark Meckler, have you ever made an illegal entry into the United States?
No, sir, I have not.
Have you ever been accused of it?
I have not.
Well, I have. And the situation was, as I was flying from Canada back into the United States in a private plane, and I filed an AVCUS flight plan, which means you're advising customs you're coming, got sent to the wrong airport. So when I landed in Sweetgrass, Montana, and I'm taxiing down the runway looking for a place to park, I see the white van kind of like following me. And I figured, well, they know I'm coming. Here I am. So I pulled off. They pulled out next to me. They jump out of their van and say this to me. You have made an illegal entry into the United States. You are subject to a $10,000 fine and 5 years in jail. Mark Meckler, this sounds like serious stuff to me, doesn't it to you?
That sounds pretty serious. I didn't realize I was hanging out with such a rebel.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I was detained for about 2 hours while they went through all my private stuff. They went through my airplane and all that. And then they said, oh, gee, mistake here. Got sent, your AVCUS flight plan got sent to the wrong airport. But somewhere in my file, there's a letter. And I say this to you, Mark, because in my opinion, each and every one of these people that have entered this country illegally have broken our laws. And in my opinion, that should stop them from ever being considered for asylum or entry into this country. Now, we've seen other things, and not just about the MS-13 and whatever and the horrors that they've been committing, but also voter fraud and identity theft. You know, to stay here, these people have to lie and break laws to stay here and work. Mark, as I said, we don't need reform here of our laws. We need our laws enforced, and we need them enforced to the letter of the law. Mark, am I taking this too far? Am I thinking too outside the box again?
Well, look, I mean, I'm very much of a law and order guy. And my opinion is if the laws are on the books, they have to be enforced, period, plain and simple. I don't like it when we don't enforce laws. I think that makes us a nation of men and not laws. People just decide which laws are enforceable and not. But here's one place where you and I might differ, Rick. I think we do need reform of our immigration system. We need to first enforce the laws, and then we need to reform it. And I'll give you a very specific reason why. We do create the draw for this particular labor pool, specifically low-end labor. Like having grown up in California, spent a lot of time in Central California, low-end, hardworking laborers from South and Central America are necessary to pick the crops in Central California. The key is we used to have what we called a Braceros program, which is a legal migrant worker program, where the people who hire them are responsible for those migrant workers. They come in on temporary visas. They go back home. A lot of these people, frankly, would like to be able to go back home, come work during the season and go back home. Unfortunately, that expired. We never renewed it. And I actually think it's both sides of the aisle to blame. I think that big business likes cheap, illegal labor and often represented by Republican interests. And then on the left, they want to turn these folks into voters. They see them as a potential future voting bloc and also a political cudgel to hit Republicans with. So I think you have this terrible conspiracy, strange bedfellows between the left and the right, keeping a broken system. We need a legal worker program. Look, we believe in the free flow of capital, the free flow of goods and products. We should believe in the free flow of labor, but it should be fair and regulated. And that's the part of the system, in my opinion, that is completely broken today.
Fair enough. Mark Meckler, President of Citizens for Self-Governance. Mark, we want to thank you so much for joining us here on Conservative Commandos. Please tell our audience how they could follow your work, the work of Citizens for Self-Governance, and where can they read your articles?
Yeah, the best place to follow us is go to conventionofstates.com and you can get involved. Go to selfgovern.com to read all my articles.
All right. And this is the Conservative Commandos radio show. Sharron Angle is my co-host today, and I am Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network. Well, the Mueller hearings is all in the news today, and on the other side, we're going to have James S. Davidson. He was a former FBI special agent for 23 years. He's going to give us his take. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Have you been leasing a property for your business or renting storage space? Are you tired of paying rent year after year? Call the experts at General Steel to own a building at up to 30% off now.
I'd been renting a building and paying someone else's mortgage, but General Steel showed me how I could own a space tailored to the needs of my business and for less than renting.
Call General Steel now at the number on your screen for our current building specials and to price your metal building system today.
My building's the dream I've had since finishing my house 14 years ago. I've been using it for a garage, workshop, and storage area for my tools and equipment, and I can't believe how great it turned out.
The economy is improving and the price of steel is expected to rise. Stop waiting. It could cost you thousands. Call General Steel now to see how you can own for less than you thought. Stop waiting to start your business or expand your operation. Call General Steel now.
Call 877-484-7002.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And once again, we want to thank you for staying with us. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader. My co-host is Sharron Angle. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show or know of someone who would like to be a guest, please send an email to me. It's rick@conservativecommandosradioshow.com. rick@conservativecommandosradioshow.com. I know it's long, but it should be easy. rick@conservativecommandosradioshow.com. With that, Sharron, we do have our next guest with us, and the honor of the introduction is all yours.
It is an honor and a privilege for me to introduce James S. Davidson, who was an FBI special agent for 23 years. He investigated major crimes in Texas and California and served in the Ukraine, Israel, and Washington, D.C. He is now president of Protect the FBI, a nonpartisan organization whose mission is to safeguard the FBI from the partisan politics of both political parties. James, welcome to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Sharron, thanks for having me on. Thank you, Rick, as well.
Well, you know, in reading your bio, I had to smile a little bit because you served in the Ukraine and Israel. Those are foreign nations, and then the Washington, D.C. area. I feel like Washington, D.C. is a foreign nation sometimes. And when you talk about an article and this Robert Mueller investigation, it seems even more foreign to me. So talk about what the fake Sinabung volcano simulation can teach us about Mueller.
Well, it's a blog piece, and actually it's just, I was sitting with my dad was visiting a few weeks ago, and we were sitting there, and my dad has, I'm hoping he's not going to hear this broadcast, but he has a years-long habit of mistaking links in emails and information that comes in emails as news. And I keep telling him, Dad, news does not come in an email. I promise you, if you're getting it in an email, it's not news. So, of course, it's on his phone, and he says, you got to look at this. It's amazing. And it's a simulation of an underwater volcano, and it's passed off as a recent volcano called Mount Sinabung that just in 2019 just exploded in Indonesia. But it's a fake simulation. And we were both hooked, and we're both watching this spectacular, plumes of white gas and streams of black smoke, and it, engulfs this coastal town and engulfs the camera a few moments later, but the camera doesn't move. And immediately I knew, I had been had. I have millions of fake tsunami, YouTube videos later, real tsunami YouTube videos. The camera should have moved. And then I realized even a moment after that there was about a half dozen or so signs. So the point is that, when you watch these hearings, Robert Mueller, and you watch the Democrat questioning, the Republican questioning, and you get your analysis from the different news stations, you have to bring in your life's experiences. You have to bring in what I call subjective objectivity. And I basically, in this blog piece, I write about, how I will look at these hearings. It's not necessarily valid, but, I'll use my subjective objectivity. So I believe that I'm objective, but I'm aware that I have subjective experiences. I was an FBI agent for 20 years, so I have a viewpoint from that. I have a certain education. I come from a certain subculture, and I'm going to bring all that in with me and kind of look at these hearings and kind of, I look at them through my life lens. And the article is just kind of look, when you watch these things, you've got to understand what's really going on. This is all about 2020. So the president's not going to be impeached. It's intended to be a political process. And in many ways, the process is actually working and should work. Now, I know that there's disagreement about that on both sides, that some people think this is all unnecessary and a little bit of theater, and perhaps some of it is, or quite a bit of it is, but it's politics. It's better than seeing this resolved in the very narrow environment of a court. The founders did not intend this to be resolved by 12 men and women sitting, at a trial. It's the wisdom of the crowd. It's the American people, and they'll watch this. It's about 2020. It's about the undecided vote. And I think this, in many ways, as much as everybody is frustrated, and we are as an organization, Protect the FBI, we want to see more bipartisan cooperation in Congress, and we'll talk about that. But this is part of the political process, and I just say, in some ways, although I think everybody's getting a little bit of fatigue, it's really, in many ways, it was interesting. It was an interesting day, I should say.
All right,
I could agree with you more after watching and listening to those hearings. All I was hearing was political speeches from the questioners. They were telling me about their background and how they'd done this and such, and then they get to the question, and they're all kind of grandstanding. So here I am hearing some political speeches, and I'm really glad to hear you say that's exactly what we're watching, is political showmanship, if you will.
So that's exactly what it was. And, Robert Mueller really didn't say a whole lot. I know that there's been some criticism, some implications that he was a little bit out of it or couldn't answer some questions. But I can assure you, and I frankly, I have, fairly strong criticism of Robert Mueller in general, but the way he handled this investigation is not actually one of them. I think it's a voluminous investigation with an enormous amount of information. He's got a lot of very intelligent people working for him. His job is to lead them into producing, that report and to producing the indictments, and so I thought he did fine. But it is all political theater. It's entirely about 2020. There's no stomach for impeachment, and the American people, in November of 2020 will be the ultimate jury, and that's just the way it should be. But I'll tell you, because I do want to talk about Protect the FBI a little bit, protectthefbi.org. And, we have former FBI professionals, agents, scientists, analysts, and concerned citizens. And I can tell you that if I got 100 of them in the room, there would be 100 different opinions on politics. So we've got people on the left, people on the right. So we generally kind of stay away from the events of the past 3 years. We don't comment as much as we can help it on presidential politics, believe it or not. So what we do focus on, however, is Congress. And this is under the forward-looking belief that the FBI as an organization, and when we say protect the FBI, we're not protecting the men and women of the FBI, we're protecting the institution for the American people. There's an ethos. It's an executive branch agency, but it's supposed to be independent to a certain extent. And we want to see both sides respect that. We don't want to see it co-opted for political purposes, but we also want to see Congress oversee the FBI in a rigorous, meaningful, but in a bipartisan manner. And you only have to look back to 2015 when Republican Congressman from Michigan, Mike Rogers, former FBI agent, which is really just a small part of his career, so that's just kind of a coincidence. He went to Judge Dutch Ruppersberger from Maryland, the Democrat, the ranking member of the Democrat, and he said, Dutch, this is intelligence. This is the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. I want to do fact-finding together. I want to do database decision-making together. Maybe we're going to disagree on the meaning and the relevance of facts at one time or another, and maybe there'll be a little bit of politics in that, but this is not breadbasket issues. This is not health care. It's not, it's not Social Security. It's not the economy. This is national security, and it has to remain above the fray. And, if I have any misgivings about what's happened in the last 3 years, most of this is national security. And to see congressmen on both sides of the aisle stand in front of a microphone without their counterpart is very, very frustrating to a careerist. It's frustrating to the U.S. intelligence community. What's a disservice to them, to be honest. And as an organization, we have a pledge. If you go to our website, protectthefbi.org, you read our pledge, and it asks the congressman to do what I just said, to oversee in a meaningful, rigorous, bipartisan manner. It's based on fidelity, bravery, integrity, the motto of the FBI. And that's one of the main things that we're trying to accomplish here. The second thing is, and I think your listeners will be interested in hearing about this, is that there are some policy and culture issues in the FBI that have to be addressed. And policy and culture are very closely tied together. When you have bad policies, bad culture will follow. And this goes, believe it or not, all the way back to the late 70s in the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978. And there are a number of personnel systems and whistleblowing, retaliation, determination systems and disciplinary systems that have absolutely no outside scrutiny. The FBI was permitted to develop these systems in a vacuum. There's no external appellate process. And all of these things can lead to disaster under our premise that, look, you only have to look back as far as Watergate and L. Patrick Gray to see that the FBI can be politicized. And it's through these systems that the FBI is vulnerable to being politicized in the future.
Well, and sadly, it seems like that's exactly what the Mueller report has done, is politicize the FBI to a point where you've lost some credibility with the American people. Would you say that's true, that the FBI is losing credibility?
Well, the FBI has lost some credibility because of the actions of certain individuals, but I don't know that those actions were necessarily motivated by malice the way everybody believes. And there's a lot of indications. To me, I saw indications early on that there was no conspiracy in the Trump campaign. I saw what I thought, based on my life lens, some factors that it didn't make sense to me. And so there's also factors that would indicate that what went on in the FBI, really was born in some ways out of honorable, possibly misguided intentions. I wouldn't be as hard on them as I know that your audience wants to be. I think that what we really need to wait and look at and see, and it's going to come out in September, and I would be happy to come back on and talk about it, is the Inspector General's report. That's going to be the most objective report. But quite frankly, it's Congress's, as a co-equal branch of government, it's really Congress's job to get to the bottom of all questions, to really exhaust themselves in finding answers, not just to accept what the intelligence community has told them about the origins and the investigation, but to actively go out and find out what the origins were for themselves. And the American people have a right for the legislative branch in its oversight role. They have a responsibility to do this. That's the way it should be done, but it's not the way it's being done. So I am looking forward, my organization is looking forward to the Inspector General's report, which should come out in September.
We are talking with James F. Davidson, who is an FBI agent, retired. He was there for 23 years, and he's written an article that can teach us how to watch the Robert Mueller testifying that's being done this week. We are really grateful to have him on, giving us a clue as to what's really going on in those hearings. And we're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, American Political Radio, Leading Edge Radio Network, and AM/FM 24/7. Now you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharron Angle. My co-host is Rick Trader. Our guest is James S. Davidson, and we'll be right back after these messages.
AM/FM 24/7 Roku channel broadcasts all of our shows on demand. To ensure reliability, we store and stream our content on the same servers as Netflix and Amazon. Our Roku channel is free to use, and anyone owning one of the more than 10 million Roku devices can watch our channel at no cost whatsoever. If you have a television show or are thinking about producing a show, you can be a part of AM/FM 24/7's Roku channel. Watch our great shows on your Roku device. It's free and more reliable than cable TV. Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to buyyourtimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. Buyyourtimeshare.com. That's buyyourtimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
And once again, as always, thank you for staying with us. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader. My co-host today is Sharron Angle. I want to give a shout out to the folks who are listening to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Long Beach, California, and now in Arlington, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Also, check us out on the AUN television network in Northern California. Our guest this segment is James S. Davidson. He is a retired FBI agent after he spent 23 years at the FBI. He is the president of Protect the FBI. James, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time.
Rick, thank you.
James, let's get back to Protect the FBI. Why? Why does the FBI need to be protected?
Okay, so it's really about protecting the institution for the American public, and it's a nonpartisan mission. And our mission is to safeguard the FBI from being co-opted by either party for partisan purposes. Mm-hmm. I just explained to your audience that we are a forward-looking organization, so we're not going to really get into the presidential politics of the last few years, although you could try, because occasionally I slip up, but I assure you if I do, it's my personal opinion, and as I said, I can get 99 other former FBI agents in the room, and their opinions will likely be different. We look back to Watergate. We know from the FBI's policy and culture environment that there's work to be done. We don't believe that work could be done from the inside. I happen to know the deputy director and the associate deputy director. They're terrific people. It doesn't matter how well-intentioned they are. They have not identified the problems that we've identified, and the problems have to do with a number of personnel systems, and we are always just a step away. There's an ethos, but regardless of this ethos, that kind of is part of the fabric of the intelligence community. You remain above the political fray. The FBI director is still a political appointee, and so is the attorney general, and they're just a step away from the president, whether the president is Republican or Democrat. And it's our organization's view that if you were going to co-opt the FBI for political purposes, it would be done through its personnel systems, through the whistleblowing system, through the disciplinary system. There's no check and balance. Essentially, in these systems, there's no external appellate process. There was a very robust law or bill that should have passed in 2016. It had everything. The Inspector General of DOJ wanted the bill to pass in its original form. The National Whistleblowing Organization wanted it to pass. A number of other private sector organizations wanted it to pass. FBI employees wanted it to pass. And several testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee very passionately. One person from the FBI came in and made an age-old, very stale argument about national security information getting out if there's an outside appellate process. And that can easily be taken care of. I believe the CIA has addressed that. There's no reason for the system. The system is a disincentive to reporting and abuse of authority. So if you believe in the past 3 years that the FBI was politicized, then you would also can presume that somebody observed that and was unable or unwilling to report it. Those are hypotheticals. Those are if-then scenarios. If you believe from the other side of the political aisle that this administration poses a danger, well, I can tell you, if it truly does, the ability for an FBI employee to observe and report what I would call political skullduggery is really mitigated, and it's just they would be doing so at their own peril.
James, I, for one, and I think there's a lot of people who feel the same way as I do. To me, the FBI was above repute. I mean, FBI, the untouchables, had such a reputation that they were out there to protect us, to protect our country. The FBI has done such good over time. But I think there's a lot of people like me that really do believe now that the FBI has been politicized, and it has been used as a weapon to destroy the political opposition. I think that we've heard a lot in the past couple of years that makes a lot of people wonder about the FBI and its integrity. Am I wrong in that thinking, James?
I personally believe that the thinking that looking at this issue, it's just a much more complicated issue than that. And again, I hate to dodge the question. We're going to wait for the Inspector General's report and see what he has to say. But I can tell you that I know that a distinction is made between the line employees of the FBI, the people out in the field. There's a smaller number overseas and the work that they're doing, and the 99.9% of the cases that we investigate, which have nothing at all to do with politics. And I can assure you that the country you really have nothing to worry about. I think that in the end, and I've written about this as well, I think we might possibly find some mistakes. I do not think that there's going to be any what I would call mistakes of commission or lies of omission in any of the affidavits. There may be some omissions, but that might not be as sinister as you think it is. Remember, when you're going to get a FISA warrant, and I think we're in some ways talking about the Carter Page and these FISAs and stuff. So when you're going to get these warrants, the standard is relatively low. It has to cross a threshold that somebody might be spying on behalf of a foreign government. So you're not obligated to provide every piece of intelligence or collected intelligence that you have. There's an enormous amount. So again, this is an opinion. I'm in a sense, I'm defending my colleagues. I understand that. I understand the thinking.
We have no problem with that.
Giving you my view through my life lens. Look, I'm the president of an organization that is telling you the FBI can be politicized. So certainly you can conclude that I might have the motivation to say that it was. But I honestly, based on my 23 years in the FBI, I cannot say that until I see the data, until I see the reporting. And I understand that, there's this out there and there's that out there. But, I've looked at almost everything and that's my assessment. That's my prediction, I guess you could say.
All right. The Mueller report. A lot of people says, well, there's no conclusions drawn in the Mueller report. James, help educate me. From my opinion, there was not supposed to be any conclusions drawn in the Mueller report. That this was just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. And you draw your own conclusions from the facts. James, am I right or am I confused?
I read the Mueller report. I wouldn't say that there's no conclusions drawn. I would say that there's a definitely.
Well, should there have been conclusions drawn, or should it have been just the facts of the case?
This is. I personally believe that and I believe the same thing for the Clinton investigation, that the FBI and even the special counsel in this case is squarely in the role of investigator. And because saying anything about what you believe a fact pattern may or may not indicate begins to get into an area that becomes a conclusion. Now, if I was going to prepare a report for a prosecutor, I would do that. This is a criminal prosecution, nothing to do with politics. I would give, this is my opinion about whether you should prosecute or not, and here's why. And then it's up to the prosecutor to do it. But that report's not going to see the light of day. Maybe in a FOIA request, years down the line, but it's not of public interest. So
James, we only have a couple of minutes left, and I really wanted to ask this question. Did anything come out in the Mueller testimony before Congress surprise you?
One of the lines of questioning about obstruction, I thought almost caught Mueller off guard, and I think he kind of caught himself. I don't doubt for a second that the special counsel's office has an opinion. I believe that it's ultimately up to Congress and up to the American people to decide what these facts mean. And, the opinions, if you read between the lines in the report, the opinions that you might interpret, they should be, quite frankly, they should be subverted to your own opinion. And you get to decide in November of 2020, and I understand that.
Well, great. And I appreciate you saying that this was all about 2020. And James, I need to ask you this one last question before I let you go. I got to ask you to answer it in 30 seconds. When you and Sharon were talking, you brought up the term bipartisan cooperation. Do you think bipartisan cooperation is even possible in today's political climate?
Well, I do. I believe that it's going to take an outside organization and possibly a series of PACs and super PACs to be able to hold some of our congressmen accountable, at least in the primaries. We have a plan that we're looking at, a longer-term plan right now we're building awareness for our mission. We think that we can positively affect and bring about the type of bipartisan cooperation on national security.
Right. From your lips to God's ears, I sincerely hope you're successful with that. James S. Davidson, President of Protect the FBI, we want to thank you so much for joining us here on Conservative Commandos. Please tell our audience how they could find out more information about your organization, Protect the FBI, and also to read your article.
Terrific. Please go to protectthefbi.org. We just kind of spun up this organization, so we're not yet ranking on Google. So protectthefbi.org. And take a good look around. There's a blog, there's a whistleblowing petition. Kind of look at what we're doing. I promise you, if you interpret anything as being toward the left or the right, it's not intended. This is an issue for both sides of the aisle. This is an American issue. The caption on the website is country before party.
Amen to that. James Davidson, I want to thank you for coming on the Conservative Commandos radio show, but more importantly, I want to thank you for your career in the FBI, keeping us all safe. Take care and God bless.
Rick, Sharon, thank you.
And this is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. Don't go away. Sharon and I will be back with more right after this break.
Have you been leasing a property for your business or renting storage space? Are you tired of paying rent year after year? Call the experts at General Steel to own a building at up to 30% off now.
I'd been renting a building and paying someone else's mortgage, but General Steel showed me how I could own a space tailored to the needs of my business and for less than renting.
Call General Steel now at the number on your screen for our current building specials and to price your metal building system today.
My building's the dream I've had since finishing my house 14 years ago. I've been using it for a garage, workshop, and storage area for my tools and equipment, and I can't believe how great it turned out.
The economy is improving and the price of steel is expected to rise. Stop waiting. It could cost you thousands. Call General Steel now to see how you can own for less than you thought. Stop waiting to start your business or expand your operation. Call General Steel now.
Call 877-484-7002.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Well, Sharon, my dear friend, that just about wraps it up for another show. Once again, as always, I do appreciate you being with us here on Conservative Commandos. Please tell our audience how to follow what you're doing when you're not here.
Certainly. They can follow me at SharonAngle.com, SharonAngle.com. But I want to thank our guests. What a fun show we had.
Absolutely.
What a good time we had with PJ and Nicole Marie Mongelli. They took off from their honeymoon just to be on our show and talk to us about our president, which was a wonderful addition to the show today. We thank them so much.
The idea of the president showing up at your wedding reception, I do believe that he's a man for the real people.
He really is. And we're also really grateful to our good friend Mark Meckler from Citizens for Self-Governments talking to us about the asylum issue, the border issue. It is the number one issue. And finally, our guest, James S. Davidson, who's a special FBI agent for 23 years and now is with the organization Protect the FBI, talking to us about the Mueller report and testifying that he's been doing. So we had a good show, and I'm glad that I was here with you.
All right. But for right now, we are out of time. We got to run. We got to go. Take care. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.
AM/FM 24/7 Roku channel broadcasts all of our shows on demand. To ensure reliability, we store and stream our content on the same servers as Netflix and Amazon. Our Roku channel is free to use, and anyone owning one of the more than 10 million Roku devices can watch our channel at no cost whatsoever. If you have a television show or are thinking about producing a show, you can be a part of AM/FM 24/7's Roku channel. Watch our great shows on your Roku device. It's free and more reliable than cable TV. Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is, there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to buyyourtimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. Buyyourtimeshare.com. That's buyyourtimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
It's not too early to look at this field of Democrats and ask the question, who's winning? Who's losing? Who's coming across? Who's punching through? The interesting thing is the answer at the moment is nobody. Everybody who's moved ahead has also moved behind. The positive factors are offset by the negative factors, and none of this field is getting the kind of footing and the kind of basis they would need to take Donald Trump on in November. Let's go one by one in the candidates. Biden is certainly the front runner. He has the largest vote share, highest name recognition. But ever since the instant he announced, the only thing that's happened is he's moved down. Whether he was accused of groping people, or he said that he would be in favor of cutting Medicare and Social Security, or when he said that when he recalled the history of his praising Southern racist senators, and it came out that he was one of the leaders in fighting legislation for school busing, that he opposes the idea of Medicare for all, and one after another these charges have knocked him down. So he's still the front runner, but barely clinging to that status. He opened at 42% of the vote, and now he's down around 23 or 24% of the vote. Only a few points ahead of the rest of the field. Now, will he hang on long enough to win? Unlikely. Biden is on the downhill slope, and a few more bad debate performances, and he's going to be cooked. Lying behind all of this is the idea that he has nothing new to say, that he has no new ideas, no proposals, no initiatives. The best he can do is what Hillary did, which is to say, I'm going to extend the Obama administration into a third term, which in a Democratic primary is pretty popular, but still hardly inspiring. Then you have Bernie Sanders. And Bernie is boring. Bernie has become an absolute bore. all he does is stand up there and holler about the top 1% and blame everything on them. He really has been way outclassed by Elizabeth Warren in terms of specific ideas and proposals.
Have you been leasing a property for your business or renting storage space? Are you tired of paying rent year after year? Call the experts at General Steel to own a building at up to 30% off now.
I'd been renting a building and paying someone else's mortgage, but General Steel showed me how I could own a space tailored to the needs of my business and for less than renting.
Call General Steel now at the number on your screen for our current building specials and to price your metal building system today.
My building's the dream I've had since finishing my house 14 years ago. I've been using it for a garage, workshop, and storage area for my tools and equipment, and I can't believe how great it turned out.
The economy is improving and the price of steel is expected to rise. Stop waiting. It could cost you thousands. Call General Steel now to see how you can own for less than you thought. Stop waiting to start your business or expand your operation. Call General Steel now.
Call 877-484-7002.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Talk about busted. Rashid Tlaib and the so-called squad have been calling for President Trump's head because he said, if you don't like this country, you can leave it. Well, a comment has surfaced in which Tlaib said of Trump, deport this bleep. Ilhan Omar has a deportation tweet on a political opponent. Can we say double standard? Also, the leftists have struck again regarding a police memorial that mentions God. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. We're going to dive right in, but first, I want to tell you about my friends over at Bottle Breacher. You guys need to check these guys out. I've got some of their products at home, and they are just awesome. Just go to bottlebreacher.com, use coupon code BOBBY13-A1 for 20% off your next purchase of a veteran-owned, made-in-America company. They are just terrific. That's bottlebreacher.com, coupon code BOBBY13-A1. Okay. So now I want to talk about Trump's comments and other comments that we've learned about this week. You know, he said, if you don't like this country, you can leave. And people have just gone nuts. They've been saying he's racist. They've been saying all sorts of stuff, blasting President Trump. But I think we're about to learn about a little double standard here, because first, let's look at the reaction that people have had to President Trump's comments. All right, here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Once you start telling American citizens to, quote, go back to your own countries, this tells you that this president's policies are not about immigration, it's about ethnicity and racism.
All right, and of course, Ilhan Omar jumped in with some comments of her own.
And as much as he's spewing his fascist ideology on stage, telling you as citizens to go back because they don't agree with his detrimental policies.
All right, given that, it's really interesting that new comments have come up talking about getting rid of a person, talking about kicking them out of the country, and it's not President Trump who's saying it. In fact, it's Rashida Tlaib. Back in 2015, when Trump was running for president, she actually tweeted this. Check this out. She says, "Deport this bleep." All right. So where's the controversy there? I mean, why didn't anyone say anything back then? It's just amazing that the double standard exists. And she's not alone in saying this type of thing, the thing that Trump is taking so much heat about. Ilhan Omar, regarding a political opponent, tweeted to a cast of opponents. She says, "We are citizens and can't be deported. Why don't we deport you to wherever you came from?" All right, but I thought we can't say that stuff. I thought that was what the media is attacking and what the analysts, on the Sunday talk shows are saying is so bad. Yet Ilhan Omar said it about a political opponent, and Rashida Tlaib said it about President Trump. Deport this bleep. I mean, so I'm waiting for this week, maybe today, some tweets from the squad, from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez denouncing her partners here for these kind of racist tweets. They don't have any part in our discourse. They're un-American. So I'm waiting for the media and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to jump on and say, hey, this is no good. And speaking of the squad, those were older tweets that we dug up just so you could see the hypocrisy. But there's been some wild stuff this week. There's been some crazy comments that have gone on that just kind of go unnoticed. And I wanted to make sure that you guys heard them so that you can get a feel for how far left the Democrats are, especially the squad, and why President Trump is targeting them so much. First of all, we have Ilhan Omar. And as you know, she's been taking a lot of heat because she won't denounce anything. She made some very strange tweets regarding the 9/11 attacks. She won't denounce Al-Qaeda, and she actually gets frustrated when you ask her about it. Yet all she has to do is come out with a statement saying, these are bad guys, Hamas is a bad organization, you name it. Well, at a speech the other day, she was asked about genital mutilization for females, which is a horrific practice, mostly in the Middle East, and it's even getting attention there as a practice that needs to be done away with, that needs to be condemned. So at this meeting, she was asked a question about that and asked whether she would denounce such a practice, and here's what she said.
Your second question is an appalling question because I always feel like there are bills that we vote on, bills we sponsor, many statements we put out, and then we're in a panel like this, and the question is posed, could you and Rashida do this?
All right, so did you check that out? She is appalled at the question. She's appalled that the question was asked, not the practice, never denounced the practice, but she's appalled that she was even asked this question. And she goes on, here's what she says.
How often should I make a schedule? Like, does this need to be on repeat every 5 minutes? Should I be like, so today I forgot to condemn Al-Qaeda. So here's the Al-Qaeda one. Today I forgot to condemn FGM. So here it goes. Today I forgot to condemn Hamas. So here it goes.
All right, and that is the problem, folks. That is why the questions keep being asked, because she does the same thing. There, she just listed all these bad organizations, and even there, she didn't denounce them. She mocked the whole idea, and that's why the questions, keep getting asked. And as far as a political stance, as far as a political strategy, just come out and say, I denounce Al-Qaeda. I denounce these terrorist attacks. I denounce terrorism. but she never says it. And that's why he keeps going. If you come out there, if you say it, it diffuses the situation. It's basic politics, yet she never does. And it really, really makes you wonder. And by the way, this person that asked the question in the audience wasn't some, right-wing troll that's out there to get her. This was the president of Muslims for Progressive Values, okay? Someone who cares about this issue, of the same faith as Ilhan Omar, not a troll, and yet Omar is appalled at the question. All right, so that's Ilhan Omar, but now we got to get to Rashida Tlaib, because these past couple days have been, they've just been wild. And President Trump has been having a great time, especially with the video that surfaced from 2016 when Rashida Tlaib was being escorted like a crazy person from a Trump rally. If you hadn't seen it, check out this video.
You're crazy! You're an animal! Get a job!
Wow, so this person is an actual now sitting member of Congress, and she's having a meltdown like that at a Trump rally. It's just nuts. So of course President Trump had to respond, and here's what he said.
But I watched her this morning. She's vicious. She's like a crazed lunatic. She's screaming. This is before she got into Congress. Who elected her? She's screaming like a total lunatic at one of our rallies.
So it's just gold. It is pure gold. It is like the squad is the golden goose. And every now and then they lay these eggs for Trump, and he's just loving it. They just, when he runs low, out comes another egg, and it's just magical. The things he can say, he never has to address a Democrat opponent for the 2020 election because he has all of these. There's plenty of ammunition, plenty of topics to go around, and it's just funny. So he had his fun with that. But then Rashida Tlaib also came out and talking to an organization on fair wages and stuff. She decided to out Bernie Sanders. And so instead of $15 minimum wage, which we talked about on the last show, she's calling for a $20 minimum wage. Check this out.
When we started it should have been $15. Now I think it should be $20. Picture America Rising here now. It should be $20. No, it should be $20 an hour.
So everything that we said about the $15 minimum wage on the last show, can you imagine what would happen if it was bumped to 20? Talk about artificial economics. Talk about all the people that would end up losing a job. Companies weren't built on that kind of model. They are built on a certain wage. They know how many people they can hire. They know how much revenue they can expect from a certain location, a certain business, and they factor that in with their payroll to see if, hey, is this a viable business? Can we even do this? Well, then if you throw in some artificial wage into the equation, it's going to screw everything up. And she wants to out Bernie Sanders by jumping to $20 an hour. It's just absolutely nuts. So I want to move on from the squad to just another. This is just something that really burns me up, and we've seen it with Ten Commandments monuments across the country and other types of dedications, memorials to servicemen and women, to firefighters, to police, whatever, even at schools. We've seen the left and these fringe organizations try and push them, to block them, to have memorials removed. Well, we're seeing it again, and this time it's in South Carolina. There's a police memorial, and on the back is a prayer that is actually quite common for these types of memorials. And here is the report from Fox News. It says, a South Carolina city literally scrubbed the word Lord from a memorial honoring fallen police officers after receiving complaints. The Tegakay Police Department put up a memorial donated by a civic group to honor fallen officers. It was similar to other memorials around the country, including Washington, D.C., but city's attorneys caution that because it doesn't have historical significance, it should be censored, Fox 46 reports. All references to the Lord were removed. And so it just drives me absolutely crazy because they claim that this offends people. And this is the basis of our country. This is how our country was founded. And as soon as the more you push prayer and recognition of our higher power of God out of public discourse, the more and more it moves to the left and the more the country goes downhill. And here's more from Fox News. On the front, the memorial has a scripture reference, Matthew 5:9, from Jesus' famous Sermon on the Mount, which says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they are called the children of God." On the back of the stone was a prayer. "Lord, I ask for courage, courage to face and conquer my own fears, courage to take me where others will not go. Give me, Lord, concern for others who trust me and compassion for those who need me. And please, Lord, through all this, be at my side." All right, so that's what it says. Take a look at this picture of the memorial. You can see it right there. And Lord appears in 3 different places on the memorial, and yet it's filled in to make it look like the rock. It's just, you can still read it. Yet somehow they thought that this was better to fill that in, to get rid of it, and now we've, problem is solved. And so it's just absolutely nuts. Hopefully now, the latest report is that however many people complained before, I think it was mostly knee-jerk reaction from the government, now the actual complaints are mounting, and hopefully the people there will speak up and they'll do something about this and put the word Lord back in where it should, because this is just crazy and we see it too much, and we've got to change course, folks. We've got to change the direction of the country, and it can start with simple little things like that. So, folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. This week has been incredible as far as our subscribers and views, and I just really, really appreciate it. So please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and tell your friends, and please hit the bell so that you'll be notified. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, just a little reminder before you go, and no, this does not count against my 13 minutes. Please hit the subscribe button below and tell your friends. And if you happen to miss our last show, you can check it out right here. And also for great conservative news and commentary, please check out GOPUSA.com. All right, folks, we'll see you on the next show. Have a great day.
AM/FM 24/7 Roku channel broadcasts all of our shows on demand. To ensure reliability, we store and stream our content on the same servers as Netflix and Amazon. Our Roku channel is free to use, and anyone owning one of the more than 10 million Roku devices can watch our channel at no cost whatsoever. If you have a television show or are thinking about producing a show, you can be a part of AM/FM 24/7's Roku channel. Watch our great shows on your Roku device. It's free and more reliable than cable TV. Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is, there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to BuyYourTimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. BuyYourTimeshare.com. That's BuyYourTimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Democratic presidential race, increasingly, Warren is moving after the upscale college voter and Sanders after the downscale blue-collar voter. They obviously have basically identical positions, and it's so interesting to see how their bases divide. But the one thing neither of them is doing is reaching the middle where most Americans live. It's hard to tell the difference between Warren and Sanders in the text of their speeches and their proposals. Sanders was kind of there first because he articulated this stuff when he was running against Hillary 4 years ago, and Warren has come in with a lot of specifics, a lot of ideas that really will be the core, I think, of the Democratic Party program for the next decade. And she deserves a lot of credit for thinking that out and explaining it. But fundamentally, the interesting thing is that her very cerebral approach has succeeded in getting her pretty good support on college campuses, with faculty, with the whole intellectual Harvard left-wing establishment. And she's clearly winning what some would call the intellectual primary. But Sanders has done something that no other left-wing radical has been able to do in American history. He's appealed not to the intellectual elite, but to the working class, but to the high school graduate American. And he's been able to go downscale in his appeal. He even runs better among blacks than anybody else except for Biden. He's been able to articulate his agenda on a visceral level, a level of resentment and envy and anger at the top 1%, as he keeps talking about it. And with the same platform as Warren, he's really going after the downscale voters. Of course, nobody is going after the middle voters that Donald Trump does, the people who are high school graduates who come from the Midwest, who've been thrown out of jobs by foreign competition and all of that stuff. And those voters still look to Donald Trump, and they distrust Sanders' leftist ideology. But it's fascinating to see two candidates saying the same things and appealing to radically different ends of the Democratic electorate.
Have you been leasing a property for your business or renting storage space? Are you tired of paying rent year after year? Call the experts at General Steel to own a building at up to 30% off now.
I'd been renting a building and paying someone else's mortgage, but General Steel showed me how I could own a space tailored to the needs of my business and for less than renting.
Call General Steel now at the number on your screen for our current building specials and to price your metal building system today.
My building's the dream I've had since finishing my house 14 years ago. I've been using it for a garage, workshop, and storage area for my tools and equipment, and I can't believe how great it turned out.
The economy is improving and the price of steel is expected to rise. Stop waiting. It could cost you thousands. Call General Steel now to see how you can own for less than you thought. Stop waiting to start your business or expand your operation. Call General Steel now.
Call 877-484-7002.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.